Field for tonight's first race is coming down onto the track and parading to the post. Behind Parade Marshal Kathy McDonald. Before the post parade, we'll give you one more change. 9th race, scratch number 1, Mr. Precious, lame. 91, scratch Mr. Precious, lame. Here's a field for the opener. Number 1, Lisa's Dandy, owned by Mervyn Kinner. Ryan Holton drives. 2, Pay Direct, owned by Robert Henry with Justin Hall. 3, Newcomb Vespers, owned by Neil and Alvin Long and Roger Reed with Brad Hanners. 4, PMS, owned by James Ashman and George Howery with Jack Daly aboard. Number 5 is Attitude, owned by Troy Thomas, Mike Wilder in the bike. 6, True Image, owned by Dana Ross and Jeff Fout. 7, Hey, You're All Right, owned by Doug and Richard Palmer with David Miller aboard. Number 8, Love's Image, owned by Robert Hensler with Jim Daly. 9, Maddie's Miracle, owned by Pamela Jane Fisher. Al Jones will be in the sulky. Field for the opener, 5 minutes till post time. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Attitude was off stride before the start. She's well back in the early going. Moving for the lead from between horses. There goes PMS and along the rail. That's the favorite, Newcomb Vespers, second. Charging up on the outside. Love's Image to third and Maddie's Miracle as they make their way to the turn. And here comes You're All Right as they move into the quarter-mile pole. Driving away on top from the outside, 3 parts of a length, Newcomb Vespers. Back in the second, PMS'n. Moving by the opening quarter in 29 2. Love's Image has settled into third. Lisa's Dandy is now fourth. Here comes the outer tier. Pay Direct is up on the outside, followed by True Image as they make their way past the stands. Here's Maddie's Miracle. After that, You're All Right, and Attitude tries to catch the others and does, not entirely out of it. As they move around the clubhouse turn, heading to the half. Pay Direct on the outside, up to challenge the favorite Newcomb Vespers, but Newcomb Vespers goes on. Newcomb Vespers is at the half in 1 minute and 3/5. Pay Direct is on the attack in second. PMS skimming the rail in third. Moving up on the outside, Maddie's Miracle fourth. Love's Image buried in fifth. Here comes True Image up on the outside, Attitude. Nowhere to go, Lisa's Dandy is eighth. You're All Right is ninth on the outside. Leaving the 5/8, heading to 3/4, Newcomb Vespers. Trying to make every polo winning one, continues to lead the way. Next 3 are all heads apart, PMS and along the rail. Pay Direct in the center. Maddie's Miracle on the extreme outside in 1:30 2. Pretty well bunched as the field moves to the head of the stretch, and Brad Hanners goes to rockin' on the favorite. Newcomb Vespers cuts the corner, 2 on top, but is not home free yet. Newcomb Vespers, here comes PMS and up on the outside. Love's Image on the rail. Deep stretch, Newcomb Vespers under the whip. PMS and on the outside, 2 wide here, and who do you like? Now official. PMS and a 3-year-old brown filly by Nuclear Siren out of Miscana Hill, owned by James Ashman and George Howery of Wapakoneta in Troy. Trained by Scott Ferguson, given a well-judged drive by Jack Daly, covering that mile in 2 minutes flat to establish a lifetime best for PMSN, the winner. The exact on 4. Number 1 is 46 Logs. Owned by Robert Allman and Kathy Smith, Jeff Smith drives. 2 is Ellen's Ace, owned by Ellen and Mike Havens with Brad Hanners. Number 3, Matata, owned by Arlene Baker and Ron Schiesler with David Myers. Number 4, Lady Centurion, owned by Jim Hackett. Jeff Fout will be aboard. Number 5, Tammy Renee Q, owned by Alan Quinn with Mike Welder in the bike. 6, Brash and Sassy, owned by Frank and Marilyn Sickanesi with Tony Price. 7, Object of Desire, owned by LPS Broodmares with Billy Herman. And number 8, Enchantingly Shady, owned by Ronald Jackson. David Miller will be in the sulky. Field for the second race. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Lady Centurion quickly takes the lead in the gray. 46 logs along the rail. Late lever on the outside. Object of Desire with Ellen's Ace fourth in the center. 3 deep to the quarter-mile pole. Matata moves in to be fifth. Around this top turn, Enchantingly Shady, followed by the 5, Tammy Renee queuing up on the outside, Brash and Sassy. Pretty good slugfest in here. Billy Herman gets the top with Object of Desire and a quick 28-1. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Object of Desire bouncing along a length and a half. Lady Centurion second, a little bit rough in there, 46 logs third. They're really jammed up in behind now as they filter their way through the clubhouse turn and move to the half-mile pole. Object of Desire has got the lead, but the outer tier quickly forms, and they're in pursuit now of the horse that's made a break on top. Object of Desire is off stride. They're at the half in 1 minute and 3/5. Tons of confusion in behind. Everybody clears her as they straighten out down the backstretch. 46 logs, 3 parts of a length. Matata's up on the outside. Here comes Enchantingly Shady, ready to mow him down from the back of the pack. Ellen's Ace is now fourth along the rail. Lady Centurion fifth. Tammy Renee Q, 6 between horses. Brash and Sassy, 3 wide on the outside. Seventh, an Object of Desire. Racing by 3/4 in 1:30-3. Moving around the far turn. From the outside, Matata now gets the lead. Matata on top by a head. 46 logs second. Well into the middle of the racetrack, Enchantingly Shady third as they straighten away. Matata has the lead. Here comes Enchantingly Shady, picking him up and laying him down. Quickest of all on the far outside and looks to bid this field good night. It's Enchantingly Shady in hand and in command. Close for second, 3 Matata over 1, 46 logs. 8 Enchantingly Shady, 2-year-old bay filly by Falcon Sealster out of Autumn Weather. Owned in Powell, Ohio by Ronald Jackson, trained by Pete Story. Driven tonight by David Miller, covering that mile in 2 minutes and 2/5 to establish a lifetime best and remain unbeaten in 2 career starts. Number 8, Enchantingly Shady, the unofficial winner of tonight's second race. Three, Matata was second. 146 logs was third, and 2, Ellen's Ace was fourth. And Tigers and Bears, oh my. Owned by Allison Hensler, driven by Jim Daly. 2, Authentic She, owned by John and Victoria Howard with Brad Hanners. 3, Manhattan Madam, owned by Ray Belton, Heidi Fleiss with Mike Wilder. Number 4 is Noble Little Bit, owned by Ken and Marianne Gillespie with Darren Melzer aboard. 5 is Fatal Kisses, owned by Judary Farm with David Miller on the bike. 6, Monkey, owned by Mark Laffin, and the driver will be Ryan Holton. 7, High as an Angel, owned by Larry Meyer. The driver is Richard Hosapple. Number 8 is My Moira, owned by Dorothy Parker, Rebecca and Glenna Green with Jeff Fout. 9 is Our Miss Mandy, owned by Clarence DeLong and Danny Landis with David Myers. And number 10 is Berkshire Tip, owned by Harold Warren. Jack Daly will be in the sulky. Fillies and mares for the third and the superfecta. Post-time. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Monkey on the far outside takes the lead. Fatal Kisses between horses. Here comes Noble Little Bit. Lions and Tigers and Bears, oh my, will join the fray from fourth around the turn. Followed by Authentic She, who moves in to be fifth. After that, Manhattan Madam out of the second tier. Berkshire Tip off the pace tonight, High as an Angel. My Moira and Our Miss Mandy. Seating arrangements are complete as they bust by this opening quarter in 28-2. Racing past the stands and Fatal Kisses leads the way. Fatal Kisses on top, a length and a half. Noble Little Bit is second. Here comes Authentic She. Rolling up from mid-pack on the move. Authentic She on the outside is going to brush to the front. Fatal Kisses lets her go without too much of a tussle second. Berkshire Tip drives up on the outside from third. Noble Little Bit fourth as they make their way through the paddock turn. Driving up on the outside, My Moira. After that, Lions and Tigers and Bears, Oh My, the Chestnut, the 9, Our Miss Mandy. Followed by Monkey, who tried to leave early on. High as an Angel's ninth on the outside. Manhattan Madam is 10th. And they're at the half in 59 and 2. They're down the backstretch. Leaders are now heads apart. Berkshire Tip on the outside. Authentic She is fighting back. Authentic She is toying with the 10 right now as they move into three quarters. Authentic She, 3 parts Civil Link, dropping back after a big move. Berkshire Tip, 127 and 3. That quarter, 28 and 1. Moving around the far turn, 1 to 2. Favorite opens up a commanding lead. Out on top and going well, Authentic She. Fatal Kisses back on the attack in second. Berkshire Tip laboring middle of the racetrack third. Far outside, My Moira fourth. This one will get you home, Brad. Authentic She is there by a widening 5. Berkshire Tip re-rallies second. Here's Noble Little Bit third in the 5. Fatal Kisses fourth. Shown to you by the backstretch tower camera. You see the driver Jack Daly out and moving in the white silks. Coming out before him, Brad Hanners. Coming out where clearance did not exist. Driver Jack Daly had the grab a hold of 10, Berkshire Tip. You can see this mare's head turned to the right. And then for there was able to continue on, but her progress was impeded when Brad Hanners came out late just past the quarter. We'll back it up a little bit more. You'll see right about for the 4th, sponsored by Smith Sausage House. Number 1 is Geraldine's Hope, owned by Bill Lane. Ryan Holton drives. 2, Arnie's Best, owned by Robert Johns. Driven tonight by David Myers, our Gottlieb's Horseman of the Week. 3, Past the Ammo, owned by Melody Ross and Brad Hanners. 4, Best Quality, owned by George Albert. Jeff Fout will be aboard. 5, King Kelleher, owned by Brent Davis. David Miller will be in the bike. 6, Max H. Dennis, owned by Jeffrey and Ethel Dennis with Darren Mauser. 7 is I Will Overcome, owned by Michael Chris with Dan Ader. 8, Over Mystified, owned by Alan Besco, along with the driver Willard Miller, who will be in the sulking. Trotters for the 4th, David Myers, assistant trainer. And there they go. They're off and trotting. King Kelleher between horses takes the lead. Past the Ammo and Arnie's Best along the rail. Best Quality in between horses. Here comes Over Mystified, trotting a storm on the far outside to 5th. Late Lever, I Will Overcome. Geraldine's Hope can't use the rail. She gets away in 7th. Max H. Dennis is the trailer, quarter pole bound. King Kelleher batting leadoff tonight has got the top. Tucked in there nicely, second, Arnie's Best. Opening up here in a lively 29 seconds flat. Trotters come past the stands and Over Mystified, driving up on the outside, is up to challenge the King. King Kelleher right alongside in second. Arnie's Best, the stalking Journey from third. Past the Ammo drives up on the outside 4th as they move around the clubhouse turn. Best Quality is next. After that, I Will Overcome. Geraldine's Hope can't go on. Max H. Dennis rides the tailgate. They're at the half-mile station. Over Mystified by a length. Arnie's Best on the attack second. 59 and 4. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Arnie's Best on the outside now sticks his nose, his head, his neck in front. Arnie's Best has got the lead. Trotting up on the outside, past the Ammo, plenty of ammunition right now. As they move into three quarters, Over Mystified is called in a night. Here comes Best Quality on the outside. Tipping and rowing nearly trot setter King Kelleher. We're down to these 5, racing by three quarters in a snappy 129 and 3. Past the Ammo on the outside. Arnie's Best fighting back in second. Coming on between horses, Best Quality third. King Kelleher on the far outside 4th. They're at the head of the stretch. Past the Ammo, getting a BB King Journey now leads the way. Past the Ammo, Best Quality. King Kelleher looking for a minor share in here. It's Past the Ammo. Best Quality second. King Kelleher will finish third. 8-year-old bay gelding by Practice out of Vidalia, Hanover. Owned in Powell, Ohio by Melody Ross. Trained by Terry Henry. Driven tonight by Brad Hanners, covering that mile in 2 minutes and a fifth. Number 3, Past the Ammo, the unofficial winner. 4, Best Quality second. 5, King Kelleher third. And number 8, Over Mystified fourth. Result of race 4, now official. I'd like to welcome the big group. 6th race, scratch 5, email. 9th race, scratch number 1, Mr. Precious. 9th race, scratch 1, Mr. Precious. Post time 9:03. Field for race 5, start of the twin try, 12,800 in the carryover. Number 1, T.H. Joe. Owned by Michael Martin, driver changed to David Miller. 2 is Catterjack, owned and driven by Ralph Lunsford. 3, Ideal Cam, owned by Steve Sharp, reinsman is Dan Ader. 4, Midnight Scooter, leased by Robert Zink and Jeff Fout. 5 is High Elvis, owned by Larry Fohn and Brad Hanners. 6, Dirty Dirk, owned by driver Charlie Conrad and Harold Farvell. 7 is Accordance, owned by Paul Haynes, Jack Daly. 8 is Grand Mal, owned by Wendell Malone with Ryan Holton. 9, Irv's Big Chip, owned by Joe Hall, Joanne McDonald, driven by Al Jones. 10, Land Assault, owned by Jacob Asher. Mike Wilder will be in the sulky. Field for the 5th. And there they go. They're off and pacing. High Elvis looks for the lead. There goes Midnight Scooter and the favorite, T.H. Joe. They're down the backstretch. Catterjack away nicely fourth. Driving up on the far outside, Dirty Dirk to fifth. Out of the second tier, Land Assault 6, Racing 7th, Ideal Cam. Accordance, Grand Mal and Irv's Big Chip, quarter pole bound. Pretty good tussle here in the first eighth of a mile. High Elvis has got the top. Long shot, Dirty Dirk at a half 100 to 1. Circles up on the outside, racing by the quarter. Sharp 28 2/5. Bombs away past the quarter on the far outside. Dirty Dirk now gets lead for Charlie Conrad, leads by 2. High Elvis is second. Midnight Scooter grinding third. The favorite follows him in fourth, T.H. Joe. Catterjack completes the first division. From 6 back, it's Land Assault. Ideal Cam is 7th. Moving up on the outside, Grand Mal Accordance along the rail, and Irv's Big Chip can't go on. Flying past the half in 57 4. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Action from mid-pack. Here's Midnight Scooter and the favorite T.H. Joe. Both coming to the outside, but they're yet to go on by. The pace setter, Dirty Dirk. Dirty Dirk trying to make the twin try. Live Tonight is there by a head. Here comes T.H. Joe circling up on the outside. Easily going by to get the lead. T.H. Joe off stride. Dirty Dirk, the 6 is on a break by 3/4 in 1:27 3. Good night, muchachos, as they move to the head of the stretch. T.H. Joe on top by a widening 8. Driving up on the outside, High Elvis second. Midnight Scooter giving way along the rail by a dozen raw and a side of slaw. T.H. Joe is all by himself, followed by High Elvis closing up on the outside. The battle's going to be for third. T.H. Joe in a rocking chair drive. High Elvis second. Midnight Scooter will hold on third. Here comes the unofficial winner, number 1, T.H. Joe. 5-year-old bay gelding by Tucson, Hanover out of Caps Bell. Won in Richwood by Michael Martin, trained by Mike Repine, driven tonight by David Miller. To a rocking chair drive victory and a lifetime best, 156 4. Number 1, T.H. Joe, the unofficial winner of the 5th. Double tonight for David Miller. Result of the 5th, now effective $22.20. Post time 9:22. Are the 2-year-old pacing fillies for the 6th. Number 1, Streak Blonde, owned by Gary Lowe, driven by Brad Hanners. 2, Dragon's Evidence, owned by Bill Sanders and Mike Wilder. 3 is Camino, owned by Larry Coder and Kim Godfrey with Ryan Holton. 4 Ellen's Bandit, owned by Ellen and Mike Havens. Jim Stambaugh, David Miller will be aboard. 5 Email Has Been Scratched. 6 Campaign Trail, owned by Mark McNamee and Gerald Jolliffe with Terry Holton. 7 is Gretchen Q, owned by Alan Quinn. Jeff Fout will be in the sulky. That is the field for tonight's 6th race, sponsored by Midland Acres. Gretchen Jones. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Campaign Trail far outside. Ellen's Bandit is flashing speed tonight. Dragon's Evidence is along the rail third. They're down the backstretch. Streak Blonde away a bit slow, quickly rallies to fourth. On the turn, Camino and Gretchen Q. Seating arrangements are complete. Campaign Trail by a length. Back into second, Ellen's Bandit. The Chestnut Streak Blonde rolls up on the outside. Smoke in the quarter, 28-3. Off that top turn in parade past the stands. Campaign Trail is out on top. Here comes Streak Blonde up on the outside, and this could be war. Around the clubhouse turn, Streak Blonde on the outside gets the lead by a head. Terry Holton not even looking over. Campaign Trail being sent and sent hard. Streak Blonde will get the 2-hole tuck because Ellen's Bandit can't keep up. 57-2 might have something to do with it as they straighten out down the backstretch. Campaign Trail continues to lead. Streak Blonde second. Dragon's Evidence comes to the outside third. Ellen's Bandit quickly shuffle back fourth. Camino rides up on the outside, and Gretchen Q as they move into three quarters. Dragon's Evidence on the outside now gets the lead. Campaign Trail is in the second. Streak Blonde in third. Camino's up on the outside. Gretchen Q Jones is next, and quickly dropping out of it, Ellen's Bandit in 128-2. Around the far turn, Mike Wilder all over Dragon's Evidence while keeping to his task. Dragon's Evidence on top. Campaign Trail picks up the chase once again second. Streak Blonde is third. Here's Gretchen Q on the outside, closing late. Deep stretch, the pace setter is off stride. Dragon's Evidence, and here comes Streak Blonde to get the lead. Gretchen Q second, Campaign Trail third. Comes the field for tonight's 7th race, Twin Trifecta Exchange. Quite a few tickets are still alive. Number 1 is Fritzy Sam, owned by Bill Fritz and Gerald McHenry with Jim Daly. Number 2, Morgan T, owned by Magic Touch, Earl Ricks and Loretta Crown with Jack Daly. 3 is It's All Good, owned by Mary Kearns and John Wally with Ryan Holton. Number 4, Rock Rollin' Rumble, owned by Myron Brown and David Brumbaugh, driven by Darren Mauser. 5, Jack Lee Gino, owned by Robert Henry with Justin Hall. 6, Can't Change Destiny, owned by Joe Porter, Gerald Meyer, and Rocky Stidham with Al Jones. 7 is After the Loot, owned by Robert Heacock and David Miller. 8, Multi Bestos, owned by Ronald Collier and Dan Ader. 9, I'm a Sharp Fellow, owned by Clyde McNabb, driven by Jeff McNabb. And 10 is Confession, owned by Darrell Lewis and driver Mark Winters, who will be in the sulky. Field for race number 7, post time in 5 minutes. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Rock, Roll, and Rumble away safely tonight. It's All Good, and Fritzy Sam toward the rail. Morgan T drives in the middle of the racetrack. Here comes Can't Change Destiny up on the outside. Out of the second tier, Confession 6th. Jack Lee Gino is 7th. After the Loot is 8th. Multi Bestos 9th. I'm a Sharp Fellas 10th on the outside. They're on their way to the quarter-mile pole. Rock, Roll, and Rumble away nicely, leads and good, 28-2. Past the stands to the half-mile pole, jumping off stride inside the pylons. That is the 3. It's All Good. 3 was off stride. Here comes Morgan T with a rush on the outside. Challenge 4 and now get the lead. Morgan T drives away on top by 2. Rock, Roll, and Rumble is in the second. Fouled up on the outside by Fritzy Sam to third. Around the clubhouse, turn to fourth as they hit the half-mile pole. Can't Change Destiny. Underway, Jack Lee Gino saving ground after the loop. Up on the outside, Confession. Between horses, Multi-Bestos. I'm a Sharp Fella, and It's All Good as the distant trailer. They're at the half in 58 and 2, and we're down to 9. Little more than 3/8 of a mile to pace. Morgan T bouncing right along. Rock, Roll, and Rumble second. Here comes Jack Lee Gino sweeping up on the outside. Fritzy Sam can't go on, and here comes Can't Change Destiny. Racing by 3/4 in 1:28 and 2. Looks like these top three are going to take some catching in here. Nearest the rail, Morgan T. Rock, Roll, and Rumble up on the outside. Jack Lee Gino on the far outside, and these three will contest the try and the twin try. Jack Daly bidding for the hat trick is now beginning to draw clear. It's Morgan T. Battle for second. Rock, Roll, and Rumble will get there over Jack Lee Gino. Year-old bay gelding by chairman of the board out of Discreet Charm. Owned by Magic Touch Incorporated. Earl Ricks of Georgia and Loretta Crown of Ohio. Trained by Tony Ann Boroff-Hayner. Given a well-judged drive by Jack Daly. To cover the mile here in 1:57 and 2, to Morgan T, the winner. Triple tonight for driver Jack Daly. One Rembrandt's Ideal. Owned by Jim Chelliff and David Harris, driven by Mike Wilder. 2 Siren Surprise, owned by Ruth Carroll with Dan Ader. 3 Town Hill, owned by Joe Hill with Jack Daly. 4 Atlanta Brave, owned by Craig Lanston and Greg Maddox, driven by Ryan Holton. Number 5, Jamaican Me Crazy, owned by Big Chuck Grubbs. Brad Hanner's in the bike. 6 Long Gone Destiny, owned by Rodney Henry and David Miller. 7 is Edat Sammy's, owned by Richard Slaughter and Sam Mazzarello, driven by Al Jones. Number 8, Raffiti, owned by Mr. Z, Jerry Zozel, with Jeff Fout, 9 Cinder Jig, owned by Dan Eads. Darren Mauser will be in the sulky. Field for the ace, start of the pick 3, post time in 6 minutes. And there they go. They're off and pacing. 2 Siren Surprise is off stride. The 5, Jamaican Me Crazy, is off stride. Rembrandt's Ideal gets the lead. 3, Town Hill is off stride. As they make their way to the first turn, Rembrandt's Ideal on top. Cinder Jig wide to the outside second, followed by Atlanta Brave in third. Long Gone Destiny takes over fourth. As they drive to the quarter-mile pole, Edat Sammy's. After that, it's Raffiti and the trailers round this one out. First one to settle in the stride is Town Hill. After that, Jamaican Me Crazy and Siren Surprise, but the breakers are out of this one. And here comes Long Gone Destiny charging to command on the outside. Long Gone Destiny wheels away on top. Rembrandt's Ideal second. Cinder Jig bides his time in third. Atlanta Brave in fourth as they swing around the clubhouse turn, move to the half-mile pole. Edat Sammy's is fifth. Here's Raffiti up on the outside. Town Hill, Jamaican Me Crazy, and Siren Surprise reaching the half in 58. They're down the backstretch. Still in command of the field, Long Gone Destiny. First to flush, coming with a rush. Here's Cinder Jig driving up on the outside second. Rembrandt's Ideal to third. Atlanta Brave picks up cover to fourth. Next in line, Edat Sammy's far outside. Raffiti, they're hub to hub. As 6 remain in contention by 3/4 in a good 1:27 and 2. Moving around the far turn, Long Gone Destiny not home free yet. Cinder Jig at his wheel disc in second. Looking for racing room, Rembrandt's Ideal. To the far outside, Atlanta Brave, 6 wide in the drive. Long Gone Destiny, passing lane, Rembrandt's Ideal. Rembrandt's Ideal now gets lead and goes zooming by. Rembrandt's Ideal, tight for second, Long Gone Destiny over 4 Atlanta Brave. Here comes the unofficial winner, number 1, Rembrandt's Ideal, a 3-year-old bay colt by Ideal Society out of Kitchenette, owned by Jim Chaliff and David Harris of Dayton, Ohio and Chicago. Trained by Rick Heitman, given a well-judged ride by Mike Wilder. Passing lane victory 157-1. Lifetime best one Rembrandt's Ideal, the unofficial winner. Comes the field for tonight's 9th race. Exacting trifecta wagering. Scratch 1, Mr. Precious. 2 is Canopy, owned by Pamela and Dean. Jeff McNabb drives. 2, Welcome Siren, owned by Robert DeMarco. Robert Lays, driven by Steve Boroff. 4, Lust in the Dust, owned by Jim Borchers with Jeff Fout. 5, R Jam, owned and driven by Jack Daly. 6, Alert Bart, owned by Glenn and Barbara Bottoms with Charlie Conrad. 7 is Steady Mahone, owned by Neil and Elvin Long with David Miller. Number 8, CL Boy, owned by Roy Murphy and Larry King with Mike Welder. 9 is CL's Apollo, owned by Paul Simpson with Ryan Holton. 10, Sterling, Ohio, owned by Crest Farms. Brad Hanners will be in the sulky. Scratch the 1, Mr. Precious, post time in 6 minutes. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Our Jam takes the lead. Steady Mahone between horses. CL Boy up on the outside. Welcome Siren Canopy. Out of the second tier, Sterling, Ohio. Lust in the Dust. After that, Alert Bart very wide to the outside. CL's Apollo Creed as they make their way to the first turn. Bouncing right along Steady Mahone by a length and a half. Our Jam in the second. Fought up on the outside by CL Boy third. Racing by the initial quarter in 28-2. Field for 9 past the stands of the half-mile pole. Steady Mahone will cut this one out at a leisurely clip. Steady Mahone on top. Our Jam is in the second. Here comes Sterling, Ohio. Flying up on the outside. Under the finish line the first time. Bouncing right along it still. Steady Mahone. Charging into contention on the rim. Sterling, Ohio second along the rail. Our Jam is in the third. Next in line, CL Boy. Here's Alert Bart up on the outside. Back of the pack, CL's Apollo. Welcome Siren. Saving ground, Lust in the Dust and Canopy. The half in 59-1 up the backstretch. Sterling, Ohio on the outside takes the lead by a head. Steady Mahone is right alongside in second. Alert Bart between horses third. Our Jam fourth. Down the backstretch, CL Boy in fifth. CL's Apollo's up on the outside as they race by 3/4. Nowhere to go for Welcome Siren. In between horses, Lust in the Dust and Canopy is ninth on the outside. 129. Very well bunched and wide open here as they move to the head of the stretch. Steady Mahone is inching clear again. Sterling, Ohio picks it up some more in the center. Off the turn in the stretch. They're on their way home. Sterling, Ohio forges to the front. Far outside, Lust in the Dust. Sterling, Ohio. Lust in the Dust on the outside is getting up. Nine, CL's Apollo was third. Here is Jeff Fountain for Lust in the Dust. 3-year-old colt by Storm Damage out of Never My Love. Owned in Bellbrook, Ohio by Jim Borchers, trained by John Arrowwood. Driven tonight by Jeff Fout from worst to first here in 158-2 in a lifetime best. Number 4, Lust in the Dust, the winner of tonight's 9th race. 410 exacted, $99.60, $99.60. The try, 453 even. Superfecta windows are open. Post time at 10:40. Apollo Creed was third. Sterling, Ohio was second. Scratch 9-8. Here's the field for the 10th and final race. Number 1, Medcore, owned by Richard Stevens. Jack Daly drives. 2, Mac Ryan, owned by John Cantrell and David Cantrell Sr. with John Cantrell. 3, Style for a Mile, owned by David Decker and Greg Luther with David Miller. 4, Destructor, owned by Ralph Lester, Jeff Fout aboard. 5, Kyler Bell, leased by Tony Hall, Darren Mauser in the bike. 6, KG's Gravitate, owned by Tom Lovely, driven by Tom Lovely. 7, He's a Modokin, owned by Laverne Gales with Mike Wilder. 8, Broadway Flash, owned by Sean Barker and H.W. Marshall, Al Jones. And number 9, Class Con, owned by James Taylor, Jonathan Edwards, and Carly Simon. Brad Hanners will be in the sulky. Field for tonight's 10th and final race, and no change. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Class Con with a rush on the outside, just a little bit rough. Quickly though on the rail, Medcore gets the lead. Medcore, Class Con heads apart for command. As they roll to the quarter-mile pole, here's Broadway Flash on the outside, but now being taken back a bit. Slipping through Style for a Mile as they really scramble for position into the opening turn. Gap of 3 lengths, Mac Ryan is 5th. The white hood belongs to Destructor. After that comes Kyler Bell. KG's Gravitate, He's a Modokin in 27-2. Flying past the stands for the half-mile pole. Medcore is out on top, a length and a half for Jack Daly. Class Con second, Style for a Mile third. Broadway Flash in fourth. Destructor comes to the outside. Mac Ryan got trapped badly. Underway, Kyler Bell. Rolling up on the outside, KG's Gravitate. Mike Wilder's got He's a Modokin, sitting on a dock in a bay in last, and 58-1. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. They're already hub to hub. Medcore on top by an O. Style for a Smile on the outside now gets the lead. Style for a Mile on top, 3 parts of a length. Destructor rolls to him in second. Medcore dropping back in the third. Kyler Bell is up on the outside. Class Con looks to get out. Far outside, KG's Gravitate. Broadway Flash up on the outside. He's a Modokin coming from Otis Redding, California. The trailer is Mac Ryan at 127-1. Driving around the far turn. Style for a Mile continues to lead. Destructor is up on the outside second. Along the rail third, Kyler Bell. Class Con on the far outside. Here comes He's a Modokin. The favorites are going to ding-dong this one out. Style for a Mile. Destructor on the outside. Destructor gets up. In the winner's circle was number 4, Destructor, 10-year-old bay gelding by the great Niatros out of Razi, Hanover, owned in Columbus, Ohio by Ralph Lester, trained by Alex Spence Jr., given a hard drive tonight by Jeff Fout, covering that mile in 156-3. Number 4, Destructor, Jeff Fout with the last 2 on the program. Result is official, folks. We have some of our simulcasting facilities through the hub. The money has not been brought in yet. There'll be just a slight delay here for the payoffs. Staff and management, track announcer Robin Burns, thanking you for joining us here this evening. On your way home, please drive carefully. We'll go again tomorrow with Saratoga and Del Mar as our featured thoroughbred simulcast of the day. First post tomorrow night, 7:35, 16,000 plus in the carryover. Thank you.